I'm not thinking about the way you keep my world from spinning. I'm just thinking about your eyes.
Alright, so full disclosure, this review will sadly not contain any of the music from the game due to copyright laws, so please bear with me as I review an Avicii game without any of Avicii's actual music. That being said, Avicii Invector is a rhythm game from a couple years ago that I still believe was completely overlooked, and at the very least underappreciated. And the Encore edition, which contains the 2 additional track packs, not in the original, was released physically for Switch in 2020. On top of that, a portion of the proceeds from this game go to the Tim Bergling Foundation, which is a charity used to raise awareness on mental health, mostly focusing on suicide prevention, which I'll place a link in the description here if anyone is interested in checking that out.
So what have you been sitting there and thinking all this time?
Avicii Invector was created hand in hand with Avicii himself, so it has a completely authentic feel to it, despite him being as globally popular and at times commercialized as he is. I'll never know if this is the case or not, but it certainly feels like the culmination and passion project of the indie studio called Hello There Games, even if it looks like it should have been a cash-in on his music. That's 100% not the case, so don't be fooled by that whatsoever. At its core, Avicii Invector Encore Edition takes you through 35 songs from the Avicii catalog, playable on 4 difficulty levels with up to 4 players, and featuring an online leaderboard. There's a loose story when playing through the game the first time that links the various sets of songs together, but it mostly serves as an artistic backdrop, with the main focus being on the music itself.
Slow, so I can write it down and become.
The gameplay of Invector involves you riding a ship of sorts on a guided Guitar Hero-esque track, broken up by small moments of flying. I touch a bit more on this later, but it helps to create an excellent flow between moments of heart-pumping electronic music and interludes. Like any other rhythm game, you will need to press the corresponding buttons at the right time. However, the track at times takes advantage of its triangular shape, kind of looking like the A and V in Avicii, forcing you to rotate the track left or right. There are also times when the track flattens out, where there are 3 paths along the same edge, often when the game is at its best in my opinion, and really allows you to ride the beats of the music in a super satisfying manner. Your score will come down to how well you timed your button presses, how many misses you had, your longest streak, and finally when you decided to use your ship's boost for a score multiplayer, an interesting mechanic that adds some additional replayability to the experience.
Take flight. So what have you been sitting there and thinking all this time?
So my extent of rhythm games prior to this involved Guitar Hero mostly and Donkey Konga. I am not some sort of expert or even advanced player on the genre or anything like that, but I really feel like the game does a great job of introducing you to the mechanics before ramping them up to whatever difficulty you enjoy. At times, I like coasting on the lower difficulties just to relax to the music, and at other times it's so fun to get in the zone and rack up the highest score you possibly can. The added bonus of being able to play with others on multiple difficulty levels and at the same time allows you to enjoy the game with anyone, although I played it mostly solo throughout my time with Invector.
I'm not thinking about the way you keep my world from spinning.
One thing I do want to make note of is that I'm not that big of an Avicii fan, and only really knew his radio hits before playing this game. But that did not hold back my enjoyment and appreciation for the care that went into it. Invector feels like you are quite literally riding a wave of his music, has an accessible learning curve to newbies to the genre like myself, and becomes extremely satisfying to put up a high score on your favorite songs. Now, if you have a completely different taste in music, then a game featuring only one artist will probably not be for you. And no matter how polished it might be, which it is, that will never change. But as long as you are at a bare minimum tolerant of the Avicii catalog, then this game at worst ends up being an appropriately respectful tribute, making you feel in some ways like you're helping to preserve the music of an artist that sadly left us all too soon. And at best, being a completely polished rhythm action game that can be enjoyed by anyone willing to groove to Avicii's tunes.
Right now, right here, I'm not thinking about how long it's gonna take now. I'm just thinking about our lives. You and me just laying blankets on a beach, and then at night I'll sing your favorite